In this tutorial, I'm going to walk through how to play Littoral Commander, and my particular focus is going to be on the game interface, how you make things happen in this game. So first off, using the left mouse button, you click Start Game. Now the first choice that you're going to have is your joint capability cards. Each of these, the points that are listed at the 3 o'clock position, is how many command points each of these costs. And you can see it here, the command points, you get 10. There are different kinds of capability cards. Some turn into units that you put on the map. Some are in-game effects that can be used as a standalone action. And then others are attachments to units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select different ones here. We're going to do the Ohio class submarine. I left click on the button on the left, and then the add button here, the red one, left click, and now it shows it at the top list of selected capabilities. So we've used 5 of our 10 points. This one is going to be a unit that shows on the map. So I'm going to do an attachment so that you can see that specific kind of unit. And I'm going to do the Maritime Strike Tomahawk attachment. Note that it can be attached to a ground-friendly unit. I'm going to click Add. I've now used 7. And now I'll do an in-game effect. We'll do the open source intelligence, and where's the 2-pointer here? We'll do the unmanned helicopter. So we'll add. So you can see I've used 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm at 0. So I'm going to now move on. However, if you decide to change your mind, you can click back on one of these and hit remove, and it will remove it from the list. I'm going to left click on it, add it back. Okay, to end the buy phase, you hold down the left mouse button, and you'll note that you'll saw how the slider bar went across the button. At least for now, you have to hold that button down. The other thing I recommend that you do is when you click on the menu button, note these game speed options, normal, fast, immediate. I recommend you have it set to immediate. I also recommend that you use the tap to control. Now I'm going to hit resume game, be back in to the screen. All right, so now you are in the unit deployment stage. So there's 2 things you need to do here. Number 1, if you selected a joint capability card like I did, the Ohio class submarine, you need to click on that button, left click with the mouse, and then click the selectable red button. What this is going to show you is which hexes on the board you can select to place your Ohio class submarine. Now I know that the Chinese forces are going to appear here to the west of Luzon. I'm going to put my submarine right here in the middle. So I'm clicking this left click on the hex, then I click select, and it's going to put my Ohio class submarine into that hex. And you'll note this Ohio has a lot. I think it's about 18 missile strikes on it. This is a SSGN that you can employ. All right, now the rest of my joint capability cards, you'll note how it says disabled on here. You cannot click on these. They're also shaded out. These are not options at this stage to put on the board. Only the ones that you can place on the board at this time are going to show. Now, the other key thing you need to do at this stage of the game is adjust the lineup of your units. Now, to do that, and by the way, I want to point out you do have units in the far north on this island in the far north on your map. So you want to consider where to put your forces. So if you want to move them around, you left click on them, and then you'll see these blue shaded hexes. These are any of these hexes you can move your units to. So to move it, you select the unit, and then you click and hold onto the hex you want to move it to. So you left click with the mouse and hold it down, and you'll see that little white circle will appear. You hold it down until the circle is complete, and you can move your unit. You see left to select, and then left click, hold, and you can move it around. In this way, you can move any of your units anywhere on the map. Now, I recommend you consider moving some of your units. Don't just accept the starting lineup. So, for example, this 3-1 Charlie fires unit on the left, I'm going to move him here into 1-2 Delta, And as soon as you move him into a stack, you'll note how a stack appears. Now, what if you want to move him back out of this stack? You left click on the stack, then you left click on the unit. Now you'll see it says selected units. Now I can move anywhere on the map with my mouse cursor, and I can left click and hold, and it will now remove that unit from the stack. Okay, so let's look at this stack. We have 3 military deception units and 1 logistics unit. Let's say I want to move one of these military deception units into my 3-1 Charlie. So I left click on it. Now it's a selected unit. Now I left click and hold, and it is now merged with 3-1 Charlie. You'll note that your air defense units here are standalone at the moment. They do have an intercept range of, I believe it's 4 hexes that they can intercept. So they can cover some of these other units, but you might want to, for simplicity, move them co-located into another unit. So I'm going to move them into this stack by left clicking on it and then left click and hold. And now you can see I've got the air defense, the logistics, and the military deception. Now let me go up to the far north. I've got fires unit here and 2 air defense. I'm going to move these further to the south. So I'm going to put that one down here, and I'm going to move my military deception one down there. So now what I've done is I've got the fires unit, and you'll note the purple means they're all the same task force. So I've got these all the same task force, 2 military deception, a fires unit, and air defense. This has got fires and military deception, and here in the far north I've got air defense and my fires and military deception. Now these, because they are both friendly, this air defense unit can cover this unit, but they just, for movement purposes, they move on different turns. But I'm going to go ahead and leave that there. Now let's go down to these infantry units. Note I've got a fires unit that's on the front line. The China team is going to be setting up in the vicinity of Vigan and Tuguegaro. So I don't want this fires unit on the front line, so I'm going to move them back, and I'm just going to move the whole stack. I'm going to left click, and it moves the whole stack. And I'm going to instead move this infantry unit forward, and I'm going to move this infantry unit over. I'm going to look at what's going on over here. I've got another infantry unit. You can move these boxes. If these boxes get in your way, you can move those around. I'm going to move this unit over, and there's the fires unit there. I think I'm good with this. And now that I'm done positioning, let's see if I can move my submarine again. Nope, I can't move the sub. So once you put the sub on the board, you can move it later, but you can't adjust it. Okay. All right. Now to proceed to the attachments phase, which is going into more joint capability cards. I'm going to left click and hold on the attachments. Now we're in the attachments, and it's going to highlight which joint capability cards you can attach, and you'll see it's got the little paperclip symbol at the bottom. So I'm going to click on the Maritime Strike Tomahawk, and then I'm going to click on selectable, left click, and it's going to highlight the units that I can attach it to. And note, I can attach it to any of my units. That's not the case with all attachments. Some of them, you have very limited numbers of units that you can attach it to. In this case, I could attach it to an infantry unit, I could attach it to air defense, and actually this air defense unit is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to left click on this 1-2 Delta, and I'm going to hit select, and now you will see that it is added a fires capability with 4 strikes. That's the orange square here, has been added, and it's added 2 hit points. For comparison, let's see, let's find another air defense. There, see this 2-2 Delta? It's at 2 hit points at the top. This one is now 4, and the 2-2 Delta only has the purple intercept capability, no fires. The 1-2 Delta has the intercept and fires and increased hit points per the Maritime Strike Tomahawk attachment. Okay. All right, that's the only attachment. These other 2 cards are a regular card play, so I cannot employ these at this time. All right, so now my setup is complete. So I'm going to left click and hold on end stage, and that ends my turn. And it is now the Beijing player's turn to play. So you can go back and look at the map, but what you will do at the end of your turn is hit close game from the menu, and now you're ready to move on to the next game.